Hello. Just getting started up again. Let's do this. Okay, so when I left off earlier, we had just hit, like, this composed preloader was working. The code is circuitous. um, but things mostly worked, and critically, like, this has menu was working. I think it's time for a spec. I think that's really what we need. I think that's what we need. Composed preloader. Okay, so we need a ton of fixture data for this, don't we? So the only thing that in our database that is has many relationships is user. Let's just compose those two and see what happens, yeah? I'm a little bit worried that similar to how things work just fine with the has many and the belongs to for inverses, but once I tried to add a second one, things blew up. That this composed preloader pattern is only going to work like once, you know? And then if you try to compose like an already composed preloader with another one, it's going to blow up. Maybe I should run straight towards that. Yeah, maybe I'll add something to the test schema so that we can test that case. I don't know. What's like another thing a user might have in this like to-do tags? I don't know, recommended to-dos. That seems fine. Create table recommended to-dos. It's gonna have a ID, big serial primary key, user ID, big int, not null, to do ID, big int, not null. Okay, and then we need foreign key. How does, I always forget, I always struggle with this syntax, like every single time. I don't know why DuckDuckGo always sends me to version 9. But what I want is table constraint. It's just like foreign key, user ID references, users ID, foreign key on to do ID references, to dos ID. I kind of want like an index, yeah. Unique. Unique user ID to do ID. Is that syntax? Oh, right. Okay, so let's like start from to-dos. I'm gonna say like recommend these for user 2. I'm gonna create a to-do for user 2 and recommend it for user 1. I guess it doesn't even matter if there's any like test data, because we can insert that over here. Okay, cool. So describe, and what is the function name? It's Describing preload composed preloader. Oh, I probably need the before business. Cool. Great. Get that there. Let's see, what's next? Got a lot of beverages to choose from today. You know what, maybe I want to be standing actually. Got a standing desk and I'm ready to use it. Okay. Alright. Is this just like too low for me? Oh no, it was pretty good. I feel like this used to line up for my face better. Maybe I just was a little slouchier when I first configured this desk. Alright. What's going on here? I need to insert users, insert to-dos, for both users, insert a tag for a user, insert a recommended to-do for a user, then preload all that business. Cool. Let's go. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Insert result. It's gotta be. I can probably grab some stuff over here. I'm in the wrong place. Man, I'm about ready for like factories, aren't I? Is it time for that? Time for a factory? No, I think it's still too early. I think I'm close, but I'm not quite ready. Okay. All this stuff is needed and more. Right? I don't think I need this one. And I'm not messing with inverses yet. I need an it, don't I? It loads multiple. Multiple has many relationships. Cool. All right. Man, I just had a big, glaring second thought. What if all this is sort of like nonsense? You know? What if, like, given how this is all procedural, was the whole aim here to, like, produce this, like, block of a single allocated thing of, like, this huge data structure with, like, pointers between users and to-dos and recommendations and etc.? Was this all a pretty bad idea? I don't know, right? Like maybe this whole like preloading concept and being able to do like a big bang operation of like a preload of this whole thing. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, but I do have some second thoughts. Like it seems like I don't know, writing the procedural code to generate these to-dos versus writing this like huge abstraction. Like I could buy that I'd be better off starting out just by building simple web apps with like simple repos that like don't have many features. I just don't know if that's I feel like I'm not quite ready with this language. I don't know if I trust it enough yet that it has the kinds of expressivity that I hope it will have to allow for these features to exist in the future. Like I think I want to start ambitious with features. I think I want to like keep focused on the most like expressive and well encapsulated and like modular approaches. I think that feels important. I think that feels valuable. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, and it's not like right like the repos will still have simpler getters and stuff. So like if you wanted to like build up a scope of some like novel relationship, right? You could always fall back to a level lower and use the repo directly, or fall back a further level lower and use like just like a select, yeah, and just like pull whatever data you care about. Oh, Davros. I don't know what that message means. Maybe back later. J is interesting though. Mm, okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep working on this test. So I have a has many. I need like a couple more. It's not just test use. I think I did this before. I think I'll like allow a little bit of name collision here. I think all these tests, I hate them. It's too much. All right, so user has many to-dos. Is it even? I think I do want to define all these things. They're like a part of the test. All right, we got a to-do and a to-dos repo and a user and a user's repo. We also need a tag. A tags repo. And what's the last thing I recommended? And a to-do ID. Okay, and the associations, the user's going to have many to-dos. The user's going to have many tags. And the user's going to have many recommended to-dos. Okay, and the trick here is to try to select all that stuff at once in like a preloaded big thing. BRB 1 second, I gotta grab hand lotion from the other room. All right. It's like the driest hands these days. It's like weird for that to happen in the summer, but what can you do? All right, so we have all these has manys. I'm going to insert some data into each of these, and then I'm going to select it all and hope that I get everything. Great. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so now Insert users results. Don't need anything else here. I want to insert into, I bet I can just like grab, yeah, okay. Insert into users, values, email. Oh no, let's go like user with data. And user, or let's call this like user to select and user not to select. Maybe we'll call this like user to select without data. All right, I think this is great. Okay. Now I want user to select ID. It's going to be insert users result 0. This has got to be returning ID. User to select with no data. User to select, user not to select. Okay, we got those IDs. Now we want to insert a to-do for the user to select, a to-do for the user not to select, a tag for the user to select, a tag. Maybe I'll just insert like one of everything for the user to select and for the user not to select, and then a recommended either way. Okay. I don't think I need these results though. I don't think, oh, I do. And use, okay, I'll figure out these args later. Insert into to-dos with user ID and description, values. First argument, to-do to select. Oh, first selected to-do. And then for the second user, unselected to-do. Maybe we'll call this one like recommended to-do. Yeah. Returning ID. And I'll insert user to select ID and user not to select ID. Great. Okay, so now there's like to-do to select ID is insert to-do's results 0, and then to-do to recommend is the other one. Okay, and then the next two I don't think I care about anymore. I'm going to execute with connection. Insert into what's next? Tags, user ID, description. It's weird how all these tables are like the same thing. Selected tag. Oh, I think I need a comma here. I'm going to select one of these tags and unselected tag. And I don't need to return the ID or anything. I also want to execute on the connection. Oh, but I do need these arguments, right? User to select. User not to select ID. Great, okay. And then here, I'm going to have a recommendation sort of like crossways for each user. Okay, so so user to select ID is mapped to do to recommend ID. User not to select ID is mapped to do to select ID. Alright, that's some crossed wires, but I think this is like everything. I think we got fixed tree data now so that we can do the preloads and we'll get some results for everything for user 1 and no results for everything for user 2. We can assert that we like don't get sort of like spurious results that are unrelated, associated anywhere around. Okay, so we do all the inserts. Oh yeah, test. Great. Okay, so let's go for like is test user. It's going to be a SQL where of ID in with 1 is test user. Yeah. Maybe I'll just do like email like and 0 args. I don't want to pass these IDs in, it's annoying. To select that's SQL, right? And do I call them user to select on the data? Let's call it like user to select. Okay, that works. Great. No need to configure args on that one. Got plenty of testing on args all over the place. Okay, so let's do preloaded users. Oh, right, we gotta like configure our whole preload. Whew. Alright, let's run it in like one big procedural, one big like declarative thing and see how that works, right? Alright, so preloaded users is going to be preload compose preloader on. What is the syntax that I need? I need run compose preloader on user has many to-dos and the results of composing has many tags and has many recommended to-dos. Okay, okay. On users repo.all is test user. Okay. So what this says is it's gonna preload with some composed preloader these 3 relationships related to the users of this result set. This seems about right. It seems doable. Okay. Now, what are my expectations? Let's just like preloaded users.count to equal 2. Start there. Let's see if it builds. Nope. Huh. This worked before. Oh, we're like composing deeper. Yeah, this is the first time that we're composing this level. Great, okay. So, compose preloader doesn't have all the stuff. Yeah. And then there's stuff in here where we're just like picking one arbitrarily. Where is it? Like somewhere we're just like picking like lhs.source name and stuff, yeah? Okay, so what all do we need? We certainly need source name. So here we need source name. This is going to be, we can just pick one, LHS. And then presumably we also need like the source, right? Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, and then where all do we reference? Now, these two I can pull out. I can do the same here. I think so far so good. Where else do we say source name? Okay, where else do we say source? Nowhere. Are we good? I think we might be good. Don't need that anymore. Okay, how about now? Source repo dot record. That probably just wants to be called source, right? Huh? How did we get there? Has many line 70. Oh, dang, we didn't do this polymorphism bit yet. Okay, cool. Let's go call something called preloaders.j and preload. It's going to take some stuff. Composed preloader.j defines a procedure called this. It's going to take a preloader, which is a type, and a source records, which is this composed preloader dot source, and it's going to return. Boy, who even knows, huh? Yikes. Maybe we can, maybe there's enough in common between has many's result and that there's some like duck here, right? Yeah? Maybe? Maybe? I think this could work. Yeah, I think this could work. I think this could work. That's not where that'll go, though. Okay, so basically we just want these two lines. But I think learning from, oh my gosh, too many columns. String, body. Alright, let's say using percent source, using percent destination, and then I gotta throw in source name, destination name. These are already consumed. Great. Okay, that covers this case, and I think it covers this, or this case too, right? Okay, so this is going to return a preloaded result of preloader.source. You know what? I might be able to just like do this. Can this work? wonder if I can like using this even? That seems like a terrible idea. But yeah, okay, so this is gonna be preloader dot preloader dot preloader dot. Yeah? This seems like a real maybe. This could happen. Seems like a real maybe. The maybes are ongoing. Okay. No, I don't know. Can we do like a... Is this like... Is there a point to doing it this way? Is this even gonna work? How did I get here? Alright, so has many, gotta kill this too. And inside of this, we say destination name. I got confused. Lost the thread. Yeah, okay, so this destination and this destination and this destination name do not all perfectly align. What did I call it over here? Blank and blank with these two. Maybe this wants to be called like destination, I don't know, parent name? I got lost. I got lost. The problem is that compose preloader doesn't know how to call right, so compose preloader asserts that it only ever messes with preload has many without inverse. It doesn't know how to like polymorphically like traverse its left hand side and right hand side. It at least does know the whole type of everything that it needs to be doing, but it doesn't know how to polymorphically traverse the tree. So it's thinking here about creating this like general abstraction that would do the right thing, But now we have this interesting collision where, like, the, like this business, these two names versus those names don't really align. And I think that this destination name wants to just always be like preloaded. But then this is like the issue. And maybe I'll call this destination like record name or something. Maybe that's fine. Inner name. Now this one wants to be inner. This one wants to be inner. This one probably wants to be has many destination name. Where else do we reference it? It's like nowhere. Okay. This is like, I'm optimistic here. Where do we say preloaded even? There, okay. Great. Yeah, and this is where we kill that, and we have destination name now. Okay, I feel alright about this. I think I'm unlost. I'm found. Yeah? Okay, I think I feel good. I think I feel good. And this last one. Alright, I'm not optimistic that any of this is like valid syntax, but okay. Next, preloader.preload. So how do I decorate this type with like a preload method, and maybe it's like trivial? Like, I don't know, can I just say here like preload is bound to preload composed preloader? And over here, preload is bound to preload has many without inverse? Oops. And like, is that all? Was that enough? We call preload on source records and like, I don't know. That would be like a shockingly simple syntax. What did we get? Preloaded result undeclared, right? Because we didn't include this file. Alright, destination. So far so good. Where do I spell out destination? Destination. No. Alright, compose preload. This is the recursion I was worried about being a problem. On line 9. Oh, of course. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's easy? No? Oh yeah, okay, let's go for like LHS, preloaded, destination. Is this gonna work? I'm missing a semicolon. New line and string. I'm missing a close quote. Where am I? Compose preloader, line 12. Using colon right hand side dot destination, right hand side dot destination name, runs printf, RHS dot. What did I get wrong here? Oh yeah, I don't want this. I don't want. And now where am I? Hasmenu.source repo.record. Preload hasmenu without import. Huh? Oh yeah, because I didn't do. We're making it. We're almost all the way there. Okay, so here, these just become preload, right? Whoa. Okay, preloader, preload. Oh yeah. Oh, BRB team getting a phone call from my sister. All is well. It's just a call in a chat kind of call. And I said no. Okay. Because I'm calling preload wrong somewhere. Preloader.preload source records is not enough. Because you have to pass in the preloader. Whew. Now what? Preload is not a member of composed preloader, isn't it? Composed preloader here. Preload. Oh man, we're so close. Ooh, SQL syntax error. That's really promising. Yeah, that shouldn't be single quoted. Insert into user's email. Get that out of here. Don't want that. That's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, invalid input syntax for type big int. Line 98. Okay. Oh yeah, man, of course. I get this wrong like every time. Always gotta pull out the IDs from these structs. Oh boy. Oh boy. Redeclaration of variable. Composed LHS preloaded. Dang. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a way around it this time. I think we're running into the same kind of problem that I ran into before. That, like, because of these... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can just, like... Wait, why is this, like, indented? Get that out of here. Okay. Man, I don't know. This is all super static. This feels like a real hack, but check this out. Like, next, composition ID 1. Like, this all gets run linearly at compile time, and I'm caching the result. Like, why not, right? Need an int. Oh, yeah. Whew! Test pass! Okay, this is a bizarre hack. And like just to say out loud what I did, because this felt like pretty gross. First of all, let me change this to get next. Feels important, and call this just like next composition ID. Let me call this like generate. Okay, so this is nightmarish. But I think if we look at added strings, we can see what's going on here. There are spots where, as we're generating up these data structures, let's like check it out. So, you know what? Maybe that's a better solution actually. Oh, but I don't actually have access to that. So this was what I was hoping to do, is that like I would have distinct field names for these, which are all like deeply nested usings. Because I just like string them all together. But this turned out to be like a little bit tricky. So the reality that I went with is I called this just like compose left hand side something, which ended up pretty much always being preloaded. And then this also became compose left-hand side preloaded. And this became compose right-hand side preloaded. And this became left-hand side again, and this became right-hand side. Because I was just like the nature of this as I was doing it. Is that right? And this part was cute, right? Actually, so I think, like, how did it go? It's like, this was like compose recommended to-dos and to-dos. And like this was left-hand side. This was like composed another thing and recommended to-dos and to-dos. Yeah, but then this was just compose left-hand side preloaded, and this was just... Yeah, I don't know what my actual code looks like, do I? But the problem was that we ended up with compose left-hand side preloaded twice, somehow, in the same struct. And maybe it was like at this level, they're called duplicative things. I think that's what it is. So this code here, I'm just like sneaking in like a composition ID, which means that like for every novel combination of types here, we're encountering this struct definition for the first time with these polymorphic args. And for the given polymorphic args, we're running generate composition ID, which just counts up ints. Which means if I search for, I don't know, composed RHS, yeah, we just have like different numbers thrown in here. It's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm surprised we're getting duplicate numbers ever. Oh, but that's because we insert over and over again. Right, so for each one, we're going to get a couple inserts of the same number, and that's like good, actually. But I think we can do better. I think we can do better because I think really what we want is not this. So let me like delete this stuff. And I think really what we want is for has many to do a better job of setting its destination name. Where like, what was I hoping for this to be called? I was thinking this might just be preloaded, but maybe I'll call it like preloaded like preloaded to-dos, for example. And I think this might solve the problem. Yeah, in a much better way. So now if I look at added strings, the same stuff that I was seeing before, we have composed right-hand side preloaded tags and preloaded recommended to-dos, which is real word soup. But I think this is it, right? It composed right-hand side preloaded tags and preloaded recommended to-dos. I think this like kind of works. I don't know. When I run it, it still seems to work. Yeah. Cool. Even with this composed business. I love it. Okay, let's get back to the spec. So all we're doing right here is just like making sure that we got 2 users out. So that's like clearly not enough. So what I really want to do is expect all this stuff to be correct on this user, right? And what did I inserted like one of each kind of thing for this user. Okay, so expect all right. So let's say like user with data, or what did I call the user throughout? Like user to select. I like defined a little like finder in here that maybe I'll just like define again. Find actual user by ID. That seems nice. Okay, I'll call this just users. Great. Okay, so user to select is going to be find actual user by ID. Of user to select ID and users preloaded users. Yeah. Okay. So for user to select, I want to make sure that the email address is what I wanted. To equal, what did I call it? User select email.com. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. Expect, and this is where things get really interesting. User to select dot. What did I preload? To do's count to equal 1. Expect user to select to do 0 dot description to equal what is it? First selected to do. I always want to use single quotes, and it never works. Expect user to select dot tags to equal 1. Expect tags description to equal selected tag and recommended to-dos and recommended to-do 0 dot to-do ID to equal, what do I call this? Recommended to-do ID, to-do recommend ID. All right. That's all the preloading behavior that I wanted to specify. How'd we do? Preloaded. Wow. Perfection. The whole thing worked. All right, and let's make sure. So here, user select with no data ID. Okay, so I want to expect. You know what? Maybe I'll just like grab this whole block and delete the lines that don't pertain. Definitely that one. Cool, these should all be zeros. And now this should be user to select with no data, yeah? And these all have to be the same. Still green. And let's just make sure. We already said we got 2, so we found these 2 users. We can be sure that we didn't get that other user in here. Incredible. Composed preloaders work. And it's pretty polymorphic. It should be easy enough to throw belongs to in the mix as well. I'm going to commit this. What do we got? We have the test for composed preloader. What's that empty white space doing there? Why isn't it cleared out by my editor? And then, yeah, we got some tweaks around here to unify this API. And yeah, I love it. Life is good. Okay. Composed preloader spec. All right. Maybe it's time to move belongs to into this pattern as well, so we can like compose belongs to's alongside. That sounds like a great move. That sounds like an ideal thing to do next, to test whether this is actually shareable at all. And then we can pull in inverses and make sure that that polymorphism feels good. But I think the answer is all these things are going to be excellent. And inverses is really the trick, I think, that maybe makes this feel worthwhile to me. Because it seems easy enough to write some procedural code to build up like a tree of data with like pointers to other related data. But looping back and setting the inverses, whew, exhausting and error prone, and like you're going to get it wrong. But the approach that I've taken here, I think it's like possible, you know? Next we just got to do like nested ones of these. That'll be fun. And then I wonder, I'm beginning to suspect that there's no way to come up with a more elegant syntax for composed preloaders. Like I think the only way to make this, like I don't think you can do better than this syntax out of the box. I think in order to do better, it's going to be like define like a DSL, right? Define like a macro that's going to like parse some funny business, and like you could pass like a list of strings, and then I could just like print the strings into the body of the code and see what happens. Could pass many types, but the types are going to get coerced into an any, or into just like a capital T type. And then to make them polymorphic once more, even statically, I'm going to need to like do some work on them. Actually, I don't know. This composed preloader business just takes capital T types to begin with. Oh, but they're like strongly bound to left-hand side and right-hand side. So even though the descriptions of the types are opaque and we're not using like static dispatch on them, we are carrying around a lot of information about them that would be erased. So yeah, right, we're going to need to like trick the compiler into making them more concrete if we want a cleaner syntax than this tree-like thing. Like the only other option, I mean, I could build some just like vanity constructors for these that like glue together 4, 5, 6 of them. But like the var args version that just takes arbitrarily many, it's going to be annoying. Anyway, though, let's do it. How do we tweak this? We have all these same things. Test user has many. Let's make this belongs to look like has many. Maybe I'll update the spec code first, assuming that it'll be like easy. Still specify this inverse of, huh? Am I still running this? Yeah, I still have this inverse of. I'm just not using it for anything now. Although, man, this could be like beautiful, right? Like, this is like what this language is made for. Right? All right, I don't want to implement this though. So let's like just like delete this all for now. That's going to be easy to get back to though. I feel great about it. Okay, call it belongs to do this. And then here, I no longer want to do this. I want to just call preload on that and that. And does that resemble the has many spec? It probably doesn't. I'm probably still calling has many.preload. Where am I? Yeah, it's called preload. Does anything still pass? Okay, let me just like comment out this whole file. Oops. Cool, that still passes. Okay. I think that's all the change that I should need to do from here. Yeah, and the belongs to work in here was already commented out, but like really it should just be like that. Let's be optimistic. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so what all needs to change here? So up top, the first thing is that this is no longer real at all. I just need a struct. It's gonna have all the same stuff, yeah. And does this match with things I had before? Source repo, destination repo, source name. Inner name is gonna be new. Foreign key inverse of. Great. Preload is going to be preload belongs to without inverse. Source. That's going to stay the same. You know what? This is really all going to stay the same, isn't it? Except this won't be a bracket. It'll just be a singular. But otherwise, we are good. There's a lot in common between these two types. I wonder if I thought about simplifying that in any way. Okay, let's talk associate. And let me get rid of that semicolon at the end. It's no longer needed. Okay, associate belongs to still seems worthwhile, especially because that's how we were mapping inverses. Alright, but things are, I just need to add the belongs to type, don't I? And then this can just reference, oh yeah, things just got way easier here, didn't they? Right, because before we had all this polymorphism that things might be chained together and inserting data all over the place, and the types were all super fungible, like mutable. We don't have that anymore. Yeah, okay. So this is just belongs to dot destination repo dot record. Great. And this returns a preloaded result of just the belongs to, yeah? Because this all, oh, this is beautiful. What simple code we've got. All right, and I think that I had a copy pasta about this somewhere. No, I did not. Oh, but this is done. Hey. And this is done. No, Nesta is not. Just composed. I think that I didn't distinguish between composed and nested before. Yeah. Alright, but that feels like different to me, right? Composing multiple preloads on the same thing versus nesting like a deeper level of preload on something else. Whew. Okay, associate belongs to... I feel like this much is going to stay about the same, yeah? This can change to this. I bet this doesn't, this can't really change, right? Source record index. This source name becomes has many.source name. Wow, this is some real copy pasta. And then here, this is no longer just destination name, but belongs to dot. This should have been belongs to dot as well. Oh, and I need the inner name. Although I wonder, with all the usings, is that really necessary? I feel like we might be able to just say this. And that's all, yeah? Alright. And then preload just is like an exercise in like deleting some code, right? Preload is going to take some source records. I was going to take the belongs to. I'm certain that I'm using this wrong, because I'm using it just to be like a duck type for everything statically. That cannot be what it's intended for. I love it. And I'm not going to think about it too much. It's like maybe my favorite part of the language as it stands. Okay. Build up the destination IDs. This all sounds about the same. Yep, this has got to be belongs to .foreign key. Yeah? This feels too easy. Where am I? Belongs to line 20. Yeah, what? I don't think I need a comma here. What does it think I need a comma? 2037. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, huh? Belongs to something called preload in it? Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Destination repo isn't defined. Belongs to line 68. What else? Run belongs to, oh yeah. And all these places, yeah, I just want to replace it with capital B. Yeah, that's all. That's all. Whew. Now what? Okay, belongs to 31. Just need a belongs to here. What else? 36. Foreign key. Feels like that song belongs to. Whoa. I'm surprised that are the tests taking a long time now? But whoa, my test passed. Hey. I wonder if how do I output stats for a different workspace? I wonder how that works, huh? I don't know. Nope, 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 nope. Compiler. I don't know. It's like a print summary. What do you think it's called, the bit of code that does this whole thing? Oh well. Wait, and this is doing LLVM business, right? So like the compiler link is fast, front end LLVM. Oh man, I'm spending a bit in the front end, aren't I? Oh well. Let me make sure I can actually run JRecord. Yep. And am I doing belongs to now? To dos with users. Yeah, I'm getting the users. The emails line up. Wow. I feel like this is working. Do I have it in me to just keep pushing through? Try to do a nesting? Maybe? Maybe? I think maybe do like inverses first, huh? Let's like see what am I up to? Cool. This is all just refactor. Deleted dead code. Shift things around a little. Great. Amazing. I'm astonished that things work. This entire experience feels just like doing one magic trick after another. Like I keep on expecting this to be harder. Okay, bring belongs to inline with polymorph, with like polymorphic, composable, preloads. Maybe I'll update the composable preload spec and have it exercise a belongs to as well. That seems like it could be cool. And is there something that's got both a has many and a belongs to that I could play with? I think a to do, right? Has many taggings, has belongs to a user. Preloads multiple has many relationships. I want to also say it preloads both has many and belongs to relationships. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I need as much, but I certainly need like tagging. To do ID. And like a tag ID. Okay, don't need those anymore. User has many to-dos I don't need anymore. I need just like to-do belongs to user. Pretty soon I feel like I'm gonna want some like string munging business on those to compute those fields. That'd be nice. Okay, to do has many taggings. And I don't care. That's fine. User. I just need the ID. Just need that first user. Let's see. Maybe I'll have two users. Nah, maybe just like user one is gonna have two to-dos, right? This is gonna be like a to-do with taggings. This is gonna be like to-do without taggings. Cool. I don't need any tags or recommended to-dos, but I do need some tagging, so I'll leave this here for a sec. To-do ID. Oh, I do need a tag, don't I? So that a tagging can be valid. Everything's going to be tagged with one. Okay, insert tags result. Gets this. Insert result. Okay, tag ID. Gets insert tags result 0.id. Don't care about this. This can just be user ID. Who cares? Okay, and then here though, I actually don't care about anything. I just need to do ID, tag ID. And I think I feel like I want two taggings, but yeah, I guess I need two tags. Created by the same user, that's fine. Okay, so it'll be like first tag, second tag. Great. Okay, two tags. And I want to do with taggings ID, tag 1 ID, tag 2 ID. All right. All right, so I care about these two to-dos. I'll just get them by ID. Is test to do SQL where ID is in, This always trips me up. Test to do IDs. Is test to do arg0 gets test to do IDs. Alright, preloaded to-dos is gonna be this with tag has, tag belongs, or no, to-do belongs to user, and to-do has many taggings. This is gonna feel like magic if this works. This will be like incredible to me. Oh my god, what did I just do? What am I looking up? Get out of here. Is test to do. Okay, expect preloaded to-dos count to be 2. That sounds about right. Find actual to-do by ID. To-dos. Alright, to-do with taggings. Find actual to-do by ID. Whew. To-do taggings ID, preloaded to-dos. And then what do I care about here? I probably want to check, yeah, just like before, all the data that was set, right? So to do with taggings. Description to equal that. Expect to do with taggings dot user email to equal to call it? User1@email.com. Great. Classic. Expect to do with taggings dot count to be 2. And tagging alright, what do I want here? I want for I could just do the same line twice. To do what do I want actually? Tagging IDs. Tag IDs. Okay, yeah, this is right, this is right. So the tag IDs. Whew, I'm really making my head spin here. So what I'm trying to expect here is that for this selected to do, we've also preloaded its taggings, so we can see what tags it has. And we want to assert things about its, like we want to like know which tag IDs are set on them. Right, okay, so tag 1 ID. Oh, well this is like the expectation, and really what we want to look at here is to do with tagging dot taggings 0 dot tag ID and 1. And then we want to expect that to contain exactly to do tag 1 ID, tag 2 ID. Is that the right syntax? Yeah, it's varargs. Okay, great. That's all. That's what we wanted. Let's like start here. These are the two concepts that we pulled. Right, we preload the user and the taggings. We got the user's email, the taggings, tag IDs. Let's go. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah. This is a type. Man, I struggle so hard with that. It's just like so unfamiliar to me that you might just like declare the type of a variable and then just go like run at throwing stuff in it. What a concept to have a stack again. Okay. Returning ID is broken somewhere? Oh. $1, comma tag 2. Commas where I don't need them, no commas where I do need them. We pass! We can combine a has many and a belongs to and compose arbitrarily many preloaders. This might actually work. Wow. This might actually work. This might be going somewhere. Whew. Yeah, all I did was just like add a spec, yeah? I was gonna poke around in the one with no data to make sure that it looked appropriate. Let's like do that too. To do without taggings. It's gonna be to do without taggings ID. I wanna make sure this should be without. That should be the same. That should be 0, and that's it. Call it a day. Oh. Oh yeah. What? What's to do without taggings ID? Yeah. Insert 1. To do without taggings. They both relate to the same user. Huh? Oh yeah. And we're green? We're still green! Yeah, okay. Test Composing a has many with a belongs to. Wow. I didn't think we'd make it here. And if we did, I did not think we'd make it here in just a couple of weeks. This was like a pretty expressive language. Whether it's a good idea to express any of the things I'm expressing, who knows? Let's take a look at these added strings. Are they just like super weird? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Uh-huh. 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 I want some of these long ones. I want there to be ands in here. Give me some ands. Using test to do, using preloaded test user. That's close. No, no, no. Wow, I do feel like compose left-hand side preloaded tags. Preloaded tags. Preloaded to-dos and preloaded tags. This is it. These are my new specs. Whew. I wonder if there's an upper limit on how long an identifier could be in this language, because if so, I'm gonna have a problem. Whew. Whew, look at these long lines. This is my favorite one so far. Preloaded to-dos and preloaded tags and preloaded recommended to-dos. Yeah, okay, cool. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And the thing is, like, this type, if you like flattened out this type, it does look something like this code here, where it's like this deeply nested like bunch of nonsense. But look, that's just compiler time overhead, right? Because like this struct is inline, this struct is inline. Like so far we've hit like no like storage, no memory hops, no pointers or anything. This, it's like one memory pointer at the end and an array of pointers and an array of pointers. And like that's all, yeah? Like we're not, all these usings and all this composition is like, I think a zero cost abstraction, right? It's like it's only compile time cost. I think it's no runtime cost, if I understand the language correctly. Right? That like this effectively means it boils down to like we just add at runtime like a pointer to a user, a pointer to like each of these things. I wonder if I can like get in here and like print out some type info about this. I think that might like I want to like vet that assumption. Right, so like up here we're playing with these users. I think I want to like print user like type, like preloaded user type info. And I want type info on type of user to select. Oh, pointer. Didn't I? What? Alright, here we go. So what do we got here? Is it this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have so few members here. Wait, that's not enough members. That's too few members. What's happening? That's not enough. Oh, the flag is like using, we're gonna have to like traverse these types. Huh. Well, that's not as rewarding as I was hoping for it to be. But we're using the user, we're using this nonsense. Who knows what this type is? But I mean, this certainly isn't like a pointer. We got no pointers. We got its actual size, 56 bytes. I don't know what to make of that. That was unhelpful. I don't know how to speak this language as well as I would need to in order to really impress myself with that memory layout. Oh well. Alright, did I already push and everything? I just went on that rant and completely lost all context of what I was doing before. Spent a lot of time ranting, don't I? Okay, specs for belongs to and has many. Test composing it has many with a belongs to. Yeah, life is good. This is working. Alright, it's nearly 5. I think I maybe can tackle like one more thing. Should it be inverses? Maybe inverses. That sounds nice. Yeah. Seems like a good. I've already got a spec for it. Has many spec. Yeah. Ooh, inverses are gonna be hard though. Like, how does this work with inverses when, like, I think that the struct is going to have to look different. I'm ready to sit. I've been standing long enough. I think we're going to have to polymorph the struct of this has many to mean different things. Based on whether there's an inverse or not. Yeah, this is gonna be tricky, isn't it? Like, let's see if we can even like write what the like if inverse of equals empty. Then we're good. Else, like, what is source? Like, it's gonna be something like totally chaotic, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine. Right, maybe it'll be just like a preloaded result of that belongs to, of the type of that belongs to. Yeah. That feels like an infinite loop, doesn't it? It feels kind of infinite loopy. Right, because we call this source to be inverse of dot like a preloaded result of that. Like, what does that even mean? No, it wouldn't be the source that changes, would it? It'll be the destination, because we're messing with, okay. But it's like this that changes. Yeah? It's like if inverse of equals empty inverse, then this is what we get. Else, what do we get? We're gonna like be playing with belongs to dot associate, right? And associate belongs to returns preloaded result of the belongs to. I don't know. Is that really? Like, it won't just be records from the destination repo, it'll be is that right? Could that possibly be right? And if you set inverses both ways, won't this be an infinite loop at compile time? Probably. I think I have too many parens. I need to think about like what this even means. So the preloaded result is basically what we want, right? And the inverse of, in the case of this, has many. It's going to be some belongs to that's going to decorate the result with a pointer back to me. That feels pretty good. When I call preloaded result of inverse of, I think this is fine. I think this might all just be fine. Right? Like, it's not like this is like declaring a new belongs to. It's just stringing these together. And calling preloaded inverse doesn't do a lot of work. I think this might resolve. This might resolve to a fixed point. Okay, okay. And then the last thing is this, right? It's like if inverse of, maybe I like bundle these together. Yeah. Okay, so if that, then also this. Otherwise, do that and say preload is preload has many with inverse. Yeah? Okay, this is my... I'm back to dizzy. Back to having my head spinning. Okay, so... preload has many with inverse. It takes some has many. It's returning some array of preloaded results, which are composed of other preloaded results. What does that even mean? Alright. But now we know that this has many dot inverse of is set, and we should be able to call associate belongs to on that, and then just do it backwards. Right? And then this? I don't know. Is there any chance this could possibly work? Maybe. Where are we? sprintf. My favorite typo to make. Okay, we parsed a declaration, so we expected a semicolon, but saw this instead. Did I forget a semicolon somewhere? Yep, we did. Okay. Destination is not a member. Destinaten? Okay, now what's going on? Type mismatch. Right type is just a pointer to a to-do. Starting in has many, line 54. Oh yeah, because this, I think, now needs to be a just D. Although, where else does this exist? Just there? Okay. This is, again, making my head spin. Where's the problem? Line 54 again. Left type is one thing. Right type is still just a pointer to do. That's weird. Why is it a pointer to do? Oh. Left type, preloaded result of it belongs to from to do to user. Right type is just a pointer to the actual to do. Am I not passing the preloaded things? Did I forget that line? No, I did this, yeah? Associate belongs to should be returning, yeah. Alright, let's look at line 28. I'm generating a polymorph of this procedure. From line 76, polymorph is generated here. But this is without inverse case. What would we be doing here if we actually did have an inverse? Oh, yeah, okay. Main, because I'm not using the polymorphic business here. Oh my god, no way. This can't possibly. This can't be true. Alright, it's not actually doing this though, right? So these are the two addresses of the users. C8. This, it looks like it's got its inverse set correctly. Huh? Whew. C8. We got inverses. I don't understand what the code is that I'm writing. This feels like like when I was in college and like I would take a class in functional programming and I had no idea what like there's like a monadic operator that I didn't understand what was happening with it, but I was delighted that code that looked like it might do what I wanted it to do sometimes actually did exactly what I wanted it to do. All right, I'm absolutely running like 1,000,000% against the spirit of the language in terms of like understand exactly what's happening all the time. There's no way this is what anyone intended for. But like, all my tests pass. Like, if I intentionally break this one, yeah, test failed. Fix the break. Get a green build. What? How in the world? What? What a ridiculous system I was able to build in this. What a like sort of irresponsible choice by me to try to build it this way. All right, uncomment that test, and it just worked. Add support for inverses on has many. Somehow this works polymorphically. I bet I've got an infinite loop in between the belongs to and the has many stuff though. Support inverses and has many again. Okay, so let's try belongs to. I'm beginning to run out of steam, but like let's like I wonder if I can just like push through this one little last bit. Okay, has many. I also this is just like chef's kiss for being able to inspect the like polymorphic properties of a type and get different behavior for different cases for this. Whew. At compile time? Oof. What a time to be alive, huh? Alright, do I have empty inverse? It's the same one. Yeah, maybe I'll move this into preloaders. Why not, right? Seems like a nice place for it. Okay, so I just copied this over, but I bet it's going to end up being like fairly similar. So I want this code pulled up here. This is the normal, is like the no inverse case is like identical to what we had before. And the has inverse case is now going to be a preloaded. Result of inverse of, and just like a pointer, not an array. Okay, okay. Destination inner name is set here as well. Okay. And then this is going to be preload belongs to without inverse. And this is going to be preload belong to with inverse. Get that out of here. Without inverse is the new name for this. And I bet, you know, I bet I could probably pass just like a Boolean true in here, but like has inverse, or I could even inspect. Yeah, I'll clean this up in a bit. Right, because like really the only difference in these two is like whether we do this business at the end, and this could just be a static if as well. Yeah, like what in the world? Associate this has many in the belongs to dot inverse of with duration destination records, then source records, and then sneak this in here. Alright, and then we gotta mess with the types in associate a bit, because now Similar to the has many, this is just like a destination type. Is that it? No. Preload, preload, preloader, source records. Preloader's line 18. Belongs to line 60. Oh, I named this method the same thing. Oh my god. D needs a $sign. Here. Oh my god. This is just mind-boggling. How is it not an infinite loop? I'm like certain that this should absolutely be like an infinite loop in the compiler, right? This was like a tremendous leap of faith that okay, so like in consuming, I don't know, user's repo, right? So we say that a user has many to-dos, which is an inverse of to-do belongs to user. Then in defining this has many over here, we set this inverse of, and we call preloaded result on this inverse of. But that inverse of is going to point back. Have I not glued these together? I haven't connected them all yet. So maybe that's really the issue, right? To do has or to do repo. Is this it? So okay, if I do inverse of equals user has many to dos. Not test. User has many to dos. Is that gonna blow up? Yeah. Okay. This one has a proper cycle. Okay. Cool. Well, that's too bad. I could have seen this one coming, though. So, what do we think? Is it time for a break? Do I try to push through? Is there some way to bust this cycle? I think, like, all the things that come to mind for busting the cycle, like the Ruby move here would be to pass this as a string, like lazily look up the constant based on the string. That's no good. I could buy that, like, the appropriate strategy here might be, like, define, like, a foreign key and, like, say, like, to belongs to user and user has many to-dos, gets, like, a foreign key between I don't know, users repo to-dos repo, users repo, to-dos, I don't know. Guess like those are already known maybe. And it'll generate like the two together. And so it won't be like an impossible circular dependency so much as just like one little declare the both. So like the two won't have to refer to each other because this foreign key concept is going to be able to cover the both of them. Alright, so let's cover circular dependency errors, dependency errors when finding mutual inverse relationships. Alright, so I'll say that, but I think really what I want to do is just like write like a spec for belongs to, which I don't know, maybe I'll have to rewrite a lot of this, but I kind of want to just give it a shot. I want to like write a spec for it to at least like describe the current behavior and then, you know, get where we gotta get next. So like how do I do this? I inserted a bunch of data. I declared the inverse. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think I'll like just copy this whole thing down one and then simplify expectations quite a bit. Okay, test user has many test to-dos, no inverse. Test to-do belongs to test user, inverse of equals test user has many test to-dos. Man, I wonder if even it's like, if I'm just like overthinking it and like maybe all the stuff for the inverse is just like peachy, you know? I don't know. What am I trying to say? Is maybe the circular dependency is like really not a problem right now, because I figure, like, I don't know, if I have to, I'll just like do this, right? This is fine. And then do this. I mean, it's like a lot of typing. There's like room for a ton of copy pasta. But like I could buy that like maybe the correct answer here is like to like declare the inverse after or something. Who knows? Who knows? But like if you could like I don't know. I think I'm circling the same concept here, which is that like I feel like really what I want to apply to this inverse of is like to do some like subtract from the type. Like when I'm like sneaking this in here, I want to like delete its inverse of but flatten out its properties otherwise, and then life is good. And maybe this is fine. Maybe this is like good enough for testing. Maybe not though. But let's see. Okay. So I'm going to be playing with, this is like belongs to, I'm going to be exercising this preload and then making sure that if I edit the to-dos content and then traverse through the user, everything is fine. So, okay, insert a user. I don't think one user is fine. user with some to-dos doesn't exist. This is bracket 0. Test to-do insert results. Okay, test to-do ID. Great, and this can just be, how many more times do I reference it? Who knows? This is just test user ID. Okay. I don't think I care about this. I don't think I care about any of this. Okay, so I want to say expect and then walk this long thing. Oh, I need to like get, I need to do the lookup, right? I deleted one line too many. I don't know. All right, all is test to do. Great. What do I want? I want to say expect test to do dot test user dot test to do 0 dot description to equal what did I call it? To do description. And then I want to edit test to do. I don't know. I'd go for a banana right now. And then I want to expect that equals that. Oh! Isn't it? Test user is not a member of bracket blah 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 blah. Yep. 0. 2 equa. Array bounds check failed. Index is 2, limit is 1. Test to do insert results. Yep. That should be a 0. Hey! Did that work? Whew! Inverses work both ways. And I can fail that spec. It failed. Love it. Okay. Wait, why aren't my like specs failing the build? Whatever. I don't want to think about that right now. Output.dot? What is this? Oh, the circular. Yeah. All right. Oh, and I need to like make this more descriptive. Belongs to spec preloads all. And I want this to say sets inverses. Yeah, I think my concept of inverse is like a little too tied to like Ruby. You know, where like I feel like the inverse of in active record is is like nice because you're setting like here's like the field at the other end to set at this end, and it's like objects and classes, and we're all. But this we're just like building up the stuff all willy nilly, right? Like we could almost just pass like inverse true, or like what do we even need to know about the other end of this is like only like the only thing that we use inverse of is to pass in this, which means we need like right like a source, a destination, and names. Yeah. We're never gonna call preload on it. We just like shim it into preloaded result to generate a type. Like I wonder if like let me like pause just for a second. If we can say like in here, like would you just like struct with what do we actually need? Like all I need is to say I've got a source is test todos repo. Destination is test users repo. And source name is like this, right? And that's kind of it. Like oh, that's not quite right, is it? Because like it belongs to down here. We like we pass this in, and then this inverse of here, and associate has many is gonna look at a little bit more. Like has many we reference in more ways. We pass it into preloader result. We look at source name, foreign key, destination inner name. It's like just enough that it's like the majority of it, isn't it? Alright, that was a bad idea. But I do find myself curious, like what's like the least amount of information that we need to capture to make this work? What did I do? I deleted a line I didn't mean to. Right? Belongs to spec. Maybe it's fine. Belongs to inverses. Push it up. Alright, I've got to end this stream kind of abruptly. Need a bio break, need to get back to life. But thanks for watching.